Hi everyone, this is Kyle from Green Hat Local SEO, and in this video I'm going to show you how we ranked a Medspa #1 in just 2 weeks. They went from not being seen anywhere to their phones ringing off the hook. So we're going to go over the process that I used to get this done. But before we do that, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment below. Let me know if you think I'm full of shit or if you think I'm an asshole. Or if you have a question, go ahead and leave a comment. And if the question isn't stupid as fuck, I might answer it. So yeah, this is a Medspa that, like I said, we got ranking from pretty much nowhere. You can see 10s, 13s, 8s, all the way to #1 in just a couple of weeks. So this is April 7th, this is April 28th. And then you can see here, we got #1s, #2s. Look at all this. It went from spot 10 to spot 2, 3, 2. Look at this. And this is all just in a couple weeks. And so we're going to go over, like I said, our process and how we got this done. This is what the process that we use for a lot of our other clients. And this is one that should work for you if you get this implemented properly. So what did we do? How did we get #1 in 2 weeks? So I'm assuming you already have your GBP. I'm not going to fucking spoon feed you and treat you like some fucking kid. Get your GBP up and running. If you don't have that done yet, go do that. Then watch this video. Without the GBP, you literally are not going to rank in Google Maps at all. So you got your GBP set up, fucking great. You know, clap for you. You did the very basic shit that you need to be doing. Okay, on-page SEO, do this first. So this is super, super important because if your on-page SEO isn't done properly, you can have a hell of a time trying to rank. And I put on here, use Cora or Page Optimizer Pro. These are the two, probably the two best on-page SEO softwares out there that are available and affordable for local businesses. One thing I didn't put on here though, that I probably should have, is make sure that your content isn't just optimized for Cora or Page Optimizer Pro. These are just third-party tools that they can't really tell you a whole lot, but you got to make sure that you're targeting the right search intent as well. I just took a look at a site today. They couldn't figure out why they weren't ranking, and their page was set up like a blog post. They had all these informational pages on their site, which means that Google saw them as an informational resource rather than a local business, right? So when you're writing your copy, when you're writing your content, make sure you're writing to get conversions, not just to inform people like you're writing a blog post. And this is where a lot of people get this stuff wrong because they think they can just fire up ChatGPT or some other bullshit ChatGPT wrapper, tell it to write them a page, and then it's done. No, that's lazy as shit. You're doing this wrong. And honestly, I'm fucking glad you're doing this because it makes my job so much easier. But if you want to rank, make sure you're writing for conversions, not just for blog posts. So let me show you what this means. So here's Page Optimizer Pro. And so this is one of the on-page SEO software that is probably one of the best, and it's a bit of a learning curve, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it's actually really easy, and it's easy to hand off to writers and to VAs. So I took this site that is not ranking. They did a lot of things right where they've got backlinks. They did something with their GBP that I'll get into in a little bit. And look right here. So 75.14 needs work, but really from what we found, 75 is about where you start ranking on the first page. And these people aren't fucking anywhere, right? So really all they need is just a few tweaks. You can see here they have according to this, they have their page title optimized, right? They have 6 keywords out of a maximum of 7. This is their H1. They have 4. They need a minimum of 4. They got that here. This is for their H2s and H3s, so they need 42 keywords in there. They need a minimum of 25. And this for their main content, they have 139 keywords. Really, they just need about 30 more, right? So less than 30%. They're about 2/3 of the way there, which should be pretty good. You know, backlinks should have carried them up to the first page, should have carried them to the top 10 for their keyword, but it didn't, right? Because according to this, they wrote this. I can tell, either with Page Optimizer Pro or something inferior like Neuron Writer or Surfer. So they wrote to the software, but they did it all wrong, right? So what they did is they wrote a blog post. They didn't write a page about how they offer this service and how they're the best and here's what they do and stuff like that. You can see here, there's 1, 2, two sentences here about what they do. And then it goes on to medical weight loss, the answers you've been looking for, factors that may prevent you from losing weight, understanding medical weight loss. How does weight loss work? Okay, medical weight loss FAQ. What is medical weight loss? How is it different from dieting? What medication? So you see here, this is written as a blog post. This is all informational content, right? This is not about how, who is this? SeattleRegion.com, how they offer medical weight loss in Seattle. Here are their doctors. Here is their process. Here is their office. Here's where you get to their office, right? Nothing about them, what they do, where they're located, how they get to them. Nothing like that. This is an informational blog post. Google reads this and it's like, oh, this is about somebody, or this page is for somebody who wants to understand what, what is keeping them from losing weight. But this content fucking sucks, right? For a blog post on factors that may prevent you from losing weight or what is medical weight loss, you're probably going to be going up against like Cleveland Clinic, WebMD, shit like that. And 1,200 words is not going to cut it, right? That's one of the reasons why this site and this GBP are getting fucking buried in Google, because factors that may prevent you from losing weight. This is a blog post, but look at this, content fucking sucks. I'm not going to rank it anywhere, and that's exactly what's going through Google's head when they're taking a look at a page like this. So, if you are just popping your prompt into ChatGPT or ZimWriter or one of the millions of other copycat OpenAI ChatGPT wrappers out there, this is the shit that you're going to get. It's going to fucking suck, and you're not going to rank because you didn't write according to the searcher intent, which is I need a medical weight loss center near me. Who does this? What do they do? Why should I trust them? Who are their doctors? Shit like that. So you got to make sure that that is what you're including on your page, and that's one of the things that we did. We rewrote the page to be less informational about medical weight loss. They can read a blog post if they want to do that, which we linked off to, but we made that landing page about our client, who they are, where they're located, what sets them apart, what they do, who the doctors are, and we wrote 2,000 words about that, over 2,000 words about that, to give users enough information as possible to make a buying decision, and also Google enough information as possible for Google to understand who our client is, what they do, what makes them unique, and why Google should rank them in the top 10 in maps for the keyword medical weight loss near me. So use Page Optimizer Pro or use Cora. Make sure you're writing to the correct search intent. And for something like this, if you want to rank in maps, the search intent is, who is a medical weight loss center near me? Why should I trust them? What do they do? So this is Page Optimizer Pro. I think it's like $12 a month if you get the lowest plan. But basically, you pop in your keyword, you pop in the URL that you want to re-optimize. It gives you this. As you are writing here, it marks off, or it tells you that you've used the keywords enough times. If you see this little dot right here, this purple dot right here, you've over-optimized it. Green dot obviously is pretty good. And then this yellow dot here means that you have not used it enough. So this is really easy to use and pick up, really easy. Just run a report, give it off to your writer or your VA. Just don't be fucking lazy and use ChatGPT, because then you're going to get bullshit like this. It's not going to rank you anywhere. Now, if you want to go hardcore, this is what we did, and this is why our clients rank, you're going to use something called Cora. So Cora measures over 4,000 different data points to get as granular as possible, to get you as optimized as possible, but it is harder to use. There is some knowledge of SEO that you need to have in order to use this, because they don't give you that editor, right? All you get after you've run your report, you've used the software, is you get this Excel sheet that tells you just what you need to do. But once you really learn this, it gets really interesting in that, like I said, you get about 4,000 different data points that you can actually dive into, and you can optimize one by one. So here is the core report like I was talking about. So this tells you exactly what you need to do, how many times you need to use each word. This does get, like I said, a little into the weeds, because this is meant really for expert SEOs. But this gets as deep as telling you exactly, what keywords to use, how relevant it is to your content, so you know which ones you need to be using first. Off-page tunings, it tells you, how many links you're going to need for that page. even tunings like, what are the related keywords that you need to be using? A lot of times, if you are in a like a smaller town or whatever, you can use these related keywords by themselves in your content. But if you really want to rank, if you really want to do it the right way, you got to use these entities here. Like I said, it tells you how relevant they are and how confident they are that it applies to your use case here, the LSI keywords, and it even gives you, let me see, let's see, it even gives you questions that you can include in your content and how many times those entities are being used, so you can get really entity dense questions into your content, and it tells you what sentences are being used and how entity dense those sentences are. So you know what? One of the things that you can do too is you can pull some of these sentences, put them into your content, and look at how entity dense these are. And if you only have, maybe 5, 6, 7 of these sentences, you're getting tons of entities in there. Google is understanding the page, and it's not duplicate content, because if you only have, like I said, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentences in there, but the rest is unique, it's not going to trip any duplicate content triggers, right? So Cora is a really intense but really valuable software that we use on a literal daily basis to get our clients ranking. So it breaks everything down between titles and the headlines. So page title, H1 through H6. Content, this is everything in the body that's not in a heading. It tells you how many keywords you need, how many entities you need, how many times you need to use the word weight loss in your HTML. It even goes as far as like, okay, well, you need to use 79 different keywords in this page. You need to use 15 different entities in here, so you can't just span the same keyword or entity over and over and over again and expect your scores to go up or whatever. And then it goes into things like, okay, well, do your images have alt tags? What kind of schema is being used? Things like that. Cora is, like I said, the best way to optimize your on-page SEO, but it also has a bit of a learning curve in there. So that's how you do your on-page SEO. Make sure that you're writing for the search intent. Make sure you're using something like Page Optimizer Pro or Cora. And make sure you're putting what's called information gain in there. So you get to put in unique content. One of the reasons why Google hates pure AI content and the white hat chucklefucks are saying that you can't use AI is because everybody's used the same information. All AI is doing is rewriting what it already has. It's already been trained on, which means everybody's using the same information. So you need to make sure that you put something unique in there, which could be as simple as, here's why you should choose Seattle Regenerative Medicine or whatever the fuck it is. Because why else would somebody be writing about that, right? But that's unique content. Google recognizes that. Google's going to reward that, right? The other reason, too, that you need to focus a lot on your on-page SEO is because there is a site-wide quality score. Google takes your entire site into consideration, especially when you're in the medical industry, when deciding who to rank, who to put, top 10 organically, who to put in the map pack, things like that. But if you don't want to go through your entire site and redo all the pages, just re-optimize the pages that are in that silo. So for example, if you're doing, if you're a med spa, right? Say you're Medspa Seattle, and then you have medical weight loss. Well, if you don't rank for medical weight loss, you could probably get away with just optimizing that page, and then you might be able to do like medical weight loss for like teens or for women or for men or whatever, if you break things down that granularly. But if you want to rank for something like med spa in Seattle, then you have to optimize all the pages in that silo. So we need to do like hormone replacement therapy for women, testosterone replacement therapy, peptides, right? Lip fillers, cool sculpting, Botox, things like that. So think about what your silo is and optimize every page in that silo so Google can see that you're actually putting effort into this. You actually are experts and you're not just regurgitating AI slop, right? So this is going to give you some of the biggest impacts. If you're not going to do anything else, make sure you do your on-page SEO properly. So off-page SEO, this is something that everybody knows they need and everybody fucking gets wrong. So really, this is really all you need to think about. So this actually should be, so DA is domain authority, right? And this is where everybody gets this wrong. And I put this in here because I want to make sure to mention it. DA is a third-party Moz metric that doesn't mean dick, right? Do not buy links based on DA. You can fake your DA. You can pay somebody to increase your DA and start selling links. That's what a lot of people do. And I'm going to show you exactly what that means, right? So if you go to legit.com, let's look at increase DA. And boom, you can pay somebody $10 to give you a DA 50 site. And let's see, how long does this take? Probably 2 weeks. It doesn't say here, but yeah, usually this takes about 2 weeks to, here we go. Between 7 and 21 days, usually about 2 weeks. So for $10, right, you can have somebody increase your DA to 30 plus in 2 weeks. And that's really how a lot of these link builders or a lot of these link vendors sell their links based on DA. So don't think in terms of DA. Think in terms of PR or PageRank, right? And this goes for, again, site-wide quality score. Do not buy based on DA. Think about PageRank, right? So one of the ways that Google has not published PageRank in like 15 years at this point. Moz DA is a terrible indicator of that. Ahrefs DR and UR is better. Majestic's TF and CF is really good. Those are the ones, Majestic and Ahrefs is the ones that we really take a look at when looking at links. But at the same time, we don't care about that too much because you can rank based on the number of referring domains and the topic relevance of those pages and sites as a whole, but pages in particular. Don't fall for its white hat bullshit. Really, niche edits and SEO Neo is all you are going to need, right? So niche edits are basically links that are inserted on pages that have already been published and are already in Google's index, right? So one thing with guest posts is guest posts are more expensive. Yes, the content can be tailored to your page, to your client, or to your GBP or your company itself. But that is, like I said, it's more expensive and it takes time. These pages can take 2 weeks. They can take a month to index, right? But with a niche edit, those can get indexed and you can get credit for that link. And I've seen as quick as 48 hours, right? Because they're already indexed. Google right now does not really want to index new content, especially if it's going to be shitty AI content like a lot of these link vendors will do. They'll just get some shitty AI chat GPT content, stick your link in there, publish it, and bada bing, bada boom, you got a guest post you just paid $500 for that they probably spent $10.50 on, right? So really what you need to do, what the best way to do this is to use niche edits, because while Google does not want to index new pages, they have no problems refreshing pages that are already in the index, which is, like I said, why with niche edits you can get credit for links in as little as 48 hours. So if you get these niche edits, these pages are already published, you're going to get credit for those links a lot quicker, and then it's a hell of a lot cheaper too. You can find good niche edits for as low as $50 a piece. SEO Neo, don't fall for white hat bullshit. SEO Neo is one of the most powerful link building tools out there for local SEO. So SEO Neo is an automated link building software. If you want to run this yourself, you can do it for less than $200 a month. But what this does is this mass creates links, right? And the reason this works is because one of the ranking factors for links is referring domains, like literally just how many links do you have going on this page, and topic relevance for, like I said, the page, in particular the site as a whole. So with SEO Neo, you can actually build hundreds of links at a time to your page, and as long as you don't use exact match keywords, as long as you keep the content branded about your brand, your anchor text is your brand name, you won't. It'll be really hard to get any sort of spam link penalty or anything like that. So with SEO Neo, here's some of the links that you can get here. Actually, let's see. Yeah, that looks fine. So let's take a look at this link. Look right here. Right here. So right here, what we did is we have the GBP embed, which embeds have a small push, but still a push for your GBP and for your maps rankings. And then we added in the link somewhere in here. Let's see, right here. So just you can see here, we just used the brand name as the anchor text going to the service page, right? Google is not going to penalize you for building a branded backlink profile. Now, if you used SEO Neo and all of your links said, best med spa in Seattle, med spa in Seattle, med spa near me, then that looks unnatural. But using branded anchor text is the safest way to do it right now. Using branded content is the safest way to do it right now. And branded content will always be topically relevant to your business. And it's going to get you those referring domains. They aren't going to have a high PR, a high DA or whatever, but that's where niche edits come in, right? So you're going to use SEO Neo just to get as many referring domains as you can with contextually relevant content, and then to solve for the PageRank part of this formula here, you're going to use niche edits. And like I said, you can spend $50 to $60 for a good niche edit, whereas you'd be spending $400 to $500 on a good guest post, right? So it really is a no-brainer. Now, a lot of people say, okay, well, when do I start building links? How many links do I build? When do I know when to stop? So really, all it is you don't need to be the best out there. You just need to be better than your competitors, just like with page speed. With page speed, don't let some dickhead white hat tell you, oh, you need to get 99 on Lighthouse and be the fastest possible, and you need to get a custom-coded website. That's bullshit. You don't need to outrun the bear. You just need to outrun the slowest person in your group, right? Same thing with link building. All you have to do is just do a little bit of research and see out of the people who are ranking above you, it's like say you want to be in spot 1 through 3 or 1 through 10 or whatever, look and see who has the lowest amount of referring domains, who has the lowest DR or UR, and just try to beat that because they're already ranking, right, with the weakest backlink profile. So all you have to do is beat the weakest backlink profile, and then what you're going to do is you're going to beat it with on-page SEO, and then you're going to beat them with Agency Assassin and with Schema, which we'll get to in a little bit. But really, don't worry about spending $8,000 on backlinks and shit. Don't worry about getting these high DR, high DA links for $800 a pop, and you need to get 20 of those. Fuck no. Just use SEO Neo. Use that to get referring domains. Use the domain authority stack diagram on SEO Neo, and then fill in the gaps with niche edits to get those high DR links to your site. That's really all you need to do. Shoot links to your homepage, to the page that you want ranking, to the page that the GBP links to, and then also your About Us page. A lot of people forget the About Us page, but shoot links over there as well. You can do all of that with SEO Neo. Super, super easy. Maybe I'll do a video for that in the future, but that's less than $200 a month to get your, to get 80% of your link building needs done, right? Okay, GBP. So GBP1 citations, we've done tests on this. It's in our private group. You don't need 300, 400 citations to rank. All you really need is Yext citations, and you can sign up for those through Go High Level if you want to. It's an extra $20 a month, I think, or through SEMrush, $20 a month. But really, you just need like the core 50 citations that Yext uses. If you want more than that, sure, fuck it, be my guest. You're not going to see much of a bump. There are ways to get more power out of those, but really after those Yext citations, the juice isn't really worth the squeeze for these citations. Really, what you want to focus on for your GBP, after you have it set up, you have your social media profiles in there, you have your you have images in there, contact information. Really, all the basics is one, landing page relevance, right? So whatever page that is linked to from the GBP, that's going to get the most power, right? That's going to be the most relevant page there. The most relevant content because you're linking to it directly from the GBP. So, for example, like if you want to rank for Medspa in Seattle, you could shoot the GBP link to your homepage, but the homepage is all about your brand, right? Instead, what you should do is link to a page literally called Medspa Seattle from your GBP, because all that content is going to be about Medspa in Seattle. Google's going to read all that, and that's going to have the most relevance over to your GBP, right? Add in keyword-rich services. So a lot of people don't realize this, but when you add in services to your GBP, you can actually add in descriptions. So what you can do is you can take these keywords that you got from Page Optimizer Pro, you can take the keywords that you got from Cora and add those into the services in the back end of your GBP. And really, that's all you really need to worry with. You can do posts, but they don't push nearly as much power as they used to. You can shoot links over to your GBP posts. Cool. But really, that's something that I would do after I do the rest of this stuff, right? So another thing that a lot of people still don't do because of white hat, just, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and just white hat fuckery is CTR. Use Agency Assassin for your GBP. So what Agency Assassin does is it will give you realistic looking clicks. It's going to give you that juicy click-through rate that Google is looking for and that your competitors aren't getting, right? This is one of the things that we use, and this pushes a lot of power. Now, a few caveats. You don't want to do this if you're ranking like spot 20 or whatever, because it's not going to look natural, right? So we really don't start using Agency Assassin until we get our clients ranking, about 10 or above in Google Maps. You got to make sure not to add in too many conversions a day, because that's when people start burning their GBPs. Right? And it really, if you don't know what you're doing, it really is best to hire somebody out to do this. So with Agency Assassin, here's what it looks like. This is just a really quick overview. Go watch some of my other Agency Assassin videos where I actually set up a campaign. But basically what Agency Assassin does is it will actually get you clicks from this area, whatever area that you choose, right? So map conversions per day. So this is how many clicks are you going to be getting? How many clicks to your website? How many clicks to call? How many driving directions are you going to get per day? So basically for this, what you don't want to do is some people go into their GBP and they're like, oh, well, I'm getting, 10 conversions per day. I'm going to put 10 conversions into Agency Assassin. No, don't do that, because all of a sudden you go from 10 conversions per day to 20 conversions per day, right? Because you're adding that 10 on top of the 10 that you're already getting, and that does not look natural, right? So what I do is no more than 50% over what you currently are getting. That looks a lot more natural and believable to Google. So if you go from 10 clicks a day, then you can start off with maybe 15. Right? Don't go 10 to 20, 10 to 30. Does not look natural. At best, Google is going to ignore those clicks. At worst, it's gonna demote your GBP for just asshattery, right? If you want to do it as safely as possible, you want to have most of your conversions be branded keywords, right? So, for example, for this one, it's flow weight loss, flow wellness, Seattle. So, say we're doing 10 per day. I would probably have 8 of those clicks per day be some sort of variation between flow weight loss, flow wellness, flow weight loss, Seattle, flow wellness, Seattle, things like that. Because having those in there is the safest way to do it. And as right now, it's one of the most powerful ways to do it too, because Google is looking at brands, right? Go watch my other videos. I talk about how important branding is. And if people are searching for your brand, then that is going to put you over somebody, a GBP where people are not looking for the brand at all, and they're just relying on 2023 version of SEO, right? So heavy on brand, use light on exact match keywords. So you don't want to do, if you have 10 searches per day, you don't want to, or if you want to do 10 conversions per day, you don't want to have 3 or 4 of them be Medspa near me, Medspa Seattle, best Medspa near me. Because again, that does not look natural, especially if you aren't currently ranking for those keywords. Keep your keywords branded or with keyword variations. If you want to know what the variations are, you can go back to Cora, grab those keyword variations, or you can ask ChatGPT, which leads me into this. Use a fuck ton of long tail keywords. So the long tail keywords are going to be the ones way at the bottom of your list as you're looking at the keywords in your GBP. Or what you can do is you can go to ChatGPT and ask them, what are some conversational queries somebody would use for voice search when looking for a Medspa? Because a lot of people are using their phone now for voice search, looking for things near me, right? Medspa near me, plumber near me, or whatever. ChatGPT is pretty good at giving you some realistic looking long tail keywords that you can add into Agency Assassin, right? So you can get 50 of those variations, do 1 or 2 per day, and Agency Assassin will just cycle through those to make it look like people are using voice search or at least long tail, more believable keywords to find your business. And that is another secret that people haven't caught on to yet, is using these long tail keywords effectively. Schema, this is another one. where you just don't want to be fucking lazy and just fuck everything up, because almost everybody does, right? I would say out of all the SEOs out there, maybe 5% actually understand schema and know what to do with it. Don't use out-of-the-box schema. That's not going to help you. In fact, it's going to hurt you. I've seen Rank Math use article schema on location pages, on service pages, when article schema is for news articles. Now all of a sudden Google's looking for a news article, it's getting a service page, it doesn't know what's going on, it gets all fucking confused, right? So John Mueller said schema doesn't help rankings, which is bullshit. I can show you examples of a page with literally nothing on there. All the content is in schema, and that page is ranking number 1 for its keyword. Now, schema by itself is not going to get you better rankings alone. But what it will do is it'll get you A/B tested higher for those keywords. It'll expand the keywords that you are ranking for, and it's going to give Google a much better understanding of your brand, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to rank in the future when you start building links, right? So with schema, what you want to do is you want to mark up everything that's on the page already, and then you want to expand on that data. Let's search for this. Come on. Okay, so you can see here the content that is on this page, right? Not a ton of content, but what you can do is you can move a lot of that content into the schema. So like I said, what you want to do is you want to mark up everything that's on here, which means everything that's on this page, you want to make sure that you have in schema. So if you mention, toothache, dental cleaning, this is a dental website, you want to make sure that you have it in here, right? Put it into your nose about. So if you're doing medical weight loss, put in there, semaglutide, Ozempic, Mounjaro, things like that, right? You want to mark all that up, and then you want to expand on that, which means you want to take that information and add in more supporting information or more related information that Google might want to know about as well. Not just about what services you offer, like what you do, what's listed on the page, but also things that are related to that. Look at all this information that is in here. It is in the schema. Not just about, like I said, about what they do, but things that are related to what they do as well. Even pages in the silo, like I said, we want to make sure that we optimize all the pages in the silo so Google sees all that as quality content, right? So expand the content, or expand on the content that is already on your page. Instead of having to write 5,000 words on your page, you can put a lot of that information, mark it up, and put it here into schema. Look at all this. This is what good schema should look like. It should be hundreds and hundreds of lines long, right? So 575 lines of schema is what I wrote for the client that we got ranking in 2 weeks. And that really is what also, like I said, set it apart from the competitors. So what schema should you use? Okay, so the schema you're going to use web page schema, and you're going to say is part of this website, right? Use medical organization schema and nest in there brand and offer catalog, right? You're going to put person schema in there because you want to talk about who your doctors are, what their expertise is, things like that. And then you want to use FAQ schema. You want to make sure that you mark up all the FAQs that you have on that page, right? So web page schema should be about the web page itself. You should have one about field and a bunch of mentions fields, right? Then you put in your significant links and related links in there, right? Medical organization and brand. So medical organization here is where you would put local business schema. This is where you would put in stuff about your business, where you're located, what you know about same as, in the same as fields, you would put in your citations, knows about, you would put in your keywords, you would put in what areas you serve, what time you're open, how people can get in contact with you. Brand is about your brand as a whole, your company as a whole, not necessarily about your physical location, but your company as a whole. Offer catalog, so you're going to put in there what exactly you offer that's being mentioned on that page. Like I said, if you're offering medical weight loss, you put that in there. If you offer doctor assisted weight loss, put it in there, right? If you offer Ozempic, semaglutide, Mounjaro, whatever, you're going to put that into has offer catalog so Google can understand that all these things are related to your service offerings. Person schema, you need to add into there the doctors that are associated with your clinic, and also maybe where they went to school, right? Things like that. If they're part of any professional organizations, things like that. FAQs, pretty fucking self-explanatory. You mark whatever FAQs are on the page, and you're doing all this so Google has a better understanding of what's going on. So schema, what I tell people is you're directly speaking Google's language. Like imagine if you're an English speaker and a Spanish speaker, you need to have a translator. Well, that's exactly what's happening when Google tries to read the content on your website. That content is not something that computers inherently understand. So they have to translate it into ones and zeros and then try to suss out the intent and the content that way. But if you put it in schema, that's almost directly feeding that information into Google, because this is a language that they help to develop, right? So now instead of having an English speaker, translator, and Spanish speaker, now you have two English speakers, and all the nuances there, all the colloquialisms, everything, all the subtext is there, all of that is much more understandable. And that is exactly what schema does. So if you do all of this, this is exactly what we did. If you do all of this, these are the results that you're going to get. It's not that fucking hard. There is no, secret sauce. There is no, SEO secrets that you don't know that, we have. It's just doing this stuff, but we know what we're doing. And if you do this, you are going to be ranking in the map pack. Maybe not in 2 weeks. Maybe your site sucks and needs a little bit longer, but it will happen. And this is exactly what you need to do and exactly what we did to get our client ranking in the map pack. So that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, like I said, leave the questions, leave the comments below. If they're not done as shit, then maybe I'll answer them. Or if you just want us to do this for you, go to ghls.io, get a hold of us. We can get this done for you. Again, my name is Kyle Sabroff from Green Hat Local SEO, and I'll talk to you later.